to the game screen, as you can see. And, well, starting off with the pistol round, we have a, well, armor on the majority of players fixed with a little bit of utility to go with, plus a P250. And Pasha looks like he's actually picked up nothing so far, so I'm not sure whether or not we're going to see anything on him. Yeah, he's going to be the utility player going into this round.
So the starting push now coming out from the worst player's side, moving themselves closer to the B bomb site, but there is a decent counter coming out from the side of Virtus.pro 2. You can see them already getting pretty aggressive, pushing their way in through the halls now. They're going to take that duel, and Snacks is going to pick up the first 2 kills, and Violent along with Simple both going down, even moving in there. They're going to be able to pick up a 3rd kill as well on a fix. So not the hottest start, and they get puck control too. So Virtus.pro getting a very good amount of control right at the beginning.
Well, sheer aggression coming out in the pistol round from them already, just absolutely obliterating their opposition. Arch will manage to bring one back into their favor, but it is going to be a 3 versus 1. He's going to have a huge amount to do, and Taz is going to finish him off with a 1-0 lead for Virtus.pro.
So starting off there, and unfortunately, just not expecting that amount of aggression to come through the apartments there, catches them completely off guard, and their entire push is just decimated before they can even start it, unfortunately. So VP through that very successful move, are going to be able to get a nice early start, and they're wasting no time trying to stack up money. Not a single rifle coming out onto the board in the second round. We're just going to see 5 SMGs going all across the board.
Well, no respect play coming in straight away off the bat. They're not even going to bother with the rifles. We do see that Deagle coming in onto Simple straight away. Going to try and do some damage with that. We will see Crush finding a trade kill as Taz finds the initial, but it is going to be a 4 versus 4. The SMGs are still with Virtus.pro, and I feel like, well, it should be around for VP nonetheless, but Fix is going to find one back, and it's going to be coming into a 4 versus 3, 4 versus 2 now.
Arch finding that kill now. We'll see Crush looking for another pickup there, but Snacks rolling it through the connector, picks one up. Simple response, takes down Snacks. And that leaves only Pasha as the last one alive here. Trying to creep his way in. Nicely done. Picks up that first kill. Tries to combo the spray, but a little bit off the mark there under the bomb planter. So we will see that going onto the ground. 2 left alive here. Arch heavily injured, down to 41 HP. But he's going to be staying safe. Stuck outside, and also people missing that first shot. But Pasha trying to take this duel at long range here as he pushes his way back in. Still looking for the connection. Can't find anything, but he's getting closer now. Deagle shot's hitting. Pasha down to 51 HP, but he finds the kill. And the plant, it's going to be out in the open, so very dangerous for him. And he hasn't even found Arch just as of yet. Still looking for it here, and a no kit, so it's going to be the full 10-second defuse. Trying to push. I think he spotted Arch. He's just going to go full aggression, look for this kill here. The flashbang goes out, doesn't catch it, finds the kill, but there's no time left to grab that defuse. We're going to see the worst players respond, and they'll tie things up immediately, 1-1.
And maybe we may see Virtus.pro just calm down a little bit. They went for that full SMG buy, and they got punished for it. They lost the round, the bomb went down, they didn't have a kit on Pasha, and considering they bought SMGs, you sort of expect there to be a kit lying around somewhere, but no, it didn't seem to be in place, and they are just going to force back straight away. And already we see, well, 4 rifles coming in onto T side. They're not going to make the same mistake, and, well, it was a nice play coming out there from Arch. He gets himself a couple of kills in the round, and, well, without him, they probably wouldn't have been able to get that bomb down at all.
Virtus.pro, they'll look for the aggressive response in this one. Not going to take the loss of that last round very lightly whatsoever, and we can even see Pasha going up to a rifle now, with the others reinvesting themselves, but it's going to be Crush that finds that first kill onto Neo, taking him down. Early mid-control for the worst players, and not a whole lot of intel to be gained through any amount of aggression to come out closer to the B side or even towards mid here, so a bit dangerous in that Virtus.pro are going to be sort of stuck, and with them now formulating towards a B hit, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Pasha to try and hold things off over towards that site.
It is the 1 rifle in play, and we know, of course, Pasha in the past, someone who could go absolutely huge. He is going to be outranking these players by quite a bit, but let's see if he can do anything here. Going to be finding the first kill, the flashbang, not going to catch him quite in time. However, instantly we see Simple picking up the trade, someone who does need to go huge in this series, and he has found at least a kill in this round so far. There is a few SMGs, a 5-7 left in play to try and make something of this round, but Crush is going to find one more, and this is just looking like a simple cleanup round coming in for the worst players. I don't think there's too much the remaining players should be able to do. However, Taz will be finding one, now very low on health. Bialy, 19 HP, just wants to try and take someone with him here, earn a little bit of extra cash, and that's just what he will do.
So he goes down the worst players. They'll pick up their second, and this should force Virtus.pro into a little bit more of a respectful economical situation. Most of these players are sitting at around $2,000 each. So we're going to have to go for the full save here and start building it up. But this is amazing for the worst players to start off this well on the T side here, getting this bit of an edge. And especially since Virtus.pro did decide to go for the aggressive force on the third round instead of just saving for it there. Now they've just absolutely screwed the pooch as far as the CT economy is concerned, and they're going to have to build it from the ground up, which should put the worst players up to around 4 rounds before we even see our first real gun round coming into the picture.
It looks like we got a little bit of middle aggression coming in from the CT side at the moment, but it is just going to be a straight A hit. The SMG from Crush going to be holding middle, and well, it does have an opportunity to find a few kills here. We're going to see Taz picking up one, but as I said, this should just be easy frags now for the T side, going to build up their bank a little bit more. If they can drop another player, at least the CT side, they could have the chance to leave them a little bit low. But Neo's just completely missing the shots, and Crush is going to earn himself an extra $600, and that's going to be 3-1 up now for the worst players.
So, to be expected at this point, but the money actually not so bad for Virtus.pro. Maybe could have saved one more, just gone for a light buy here so that they could get full utility heading into the next round and an op as well, but they're going to decide against it and just go for the big buy here. All M4s, armor for everybody. Smokes, big thing that they're missing, those mollies, along with the HE grenades. Only Snacks is going to have one, so they're going to have a lot of trouble holding off a big formulated push from the worst player should we decide to see one, but there's no op coming into the picture as of yet either from the T side, so not to worry about that. What we do have though is this aggression coming out from mid, and that's Taz finding a first kill. Overstays his welcome though, and Fix and Crush trade out 2 more kills. There is Snacks finding another pickup there on to Fix, so we'll be down to a 3-on-3. Not looking too bad for Virtus.pro, but now their own defenses will have to be split up.
Yeah, they did have a slightly weakened buy on the CT side, so getting those trades isn't the worst thing in the world. However, the defense, as you said, will be split now. And as you can see, Pasha alone currently on the B side. It does look like that's where things are going to be built up at the moment. So he will have to try and find at least 1 kill. He did do it previously, just wasn't quite able to fall back in time. And, well, feeling going to be looking to try and find that entry kill onto the side. They're taking things nice and slow. They've got over a minute left on the clock, the worst players. I don't think they're going to rush into things here. And, well, although Arch is a little bit low, I think they should be fine, especially utility-wise. They still have a couple of Molotovs and could easily force Pasha out of a couple of positions. But here we go. Villain going to be throwing in the Molotov to stop anybody close. He's going to go for the peek. He's going to spot Pasha. Pasha needs to take down at least one, and he will do that. So it is a 2v2 retake. Now going to be coming in. No kit on the CT side. As you said, they did skimp a little bit on the utility. And, well, here comes the retake from Virtus.pro.
He's got no assistance, though. Bialy's still pretty long way away, moving his way up cap, but no one spotted Snacks as of yet inside of the apartment. Still has that element of surprise. And if Bialy takes the attention first, then this could end the round right here. This could make a very simple retake. There's going to be Snacks peeking out. They did spot him early, but he still finds the kill, looking for the second one, sitting behind the box. And it's actually going to be Bialy that strikes last there as he moves in, finds Arch out in the open. And that'll be a nice retake coming out from the CTs here. They'll pick up the first row gun round and keep things close at 2-3.
That play was crucial from Snacks, though. If he did go down there, it would have left Bialy in a horrible situation because he did peek a little bit earlier than his teammate. But after he got that initial kill, you could see the other T player just looking around to try and find Snacks, and instantly Bialy got the trade kill. So nice work there coming out from Virtus.pro. They are now back on their buy. It is going to be Pasha actually coming in with a mag, so possibly trying to farm a little bit of cash, but straight away we see Simple on that AWP, and we saw at the major how influential that weapon was. So whether he can do it again, we'll have to just wait and see.
The window smoke going to be coming back out, tossing it further towards mid there, but we're going to see Crush moving out to take a little bit better control.
This is a very skimpy buy actually coming out from worst players as well. They've got a couple of players on pistols. They did do that just so they could get a few nades in play, but Crush has already burned out all his utility. And while the CT side, they already have 3 players over towards the safe side. The Tech-9's close up, could do a nice amount of damage, and straight away, Bialy, nice reactions there, finds 2, and that's great work from him. We will see Simple trade 1 back, but great plays coming out from Bialy. A trade kill coming in the meantime, though. We will find 1 from Simple, but it is now going to be Crush, Deagle alone, and Taz will finish off the last 2 players.
So Virtus.pro, after a little bit of a bumpy start here, getting themselves back into the picture pretty quickly now. Economy's still a little bit shaky here or there, but the free recovery of the op coming off of Simple is going to be a good pickup. Still working with the Mag 7 on Pasha, but that's coming in from the previous round, so just saving up his own money. And the rest of these players only going to have to go for 2 more full rebuys on Neo and Taz being dropped in the previous round. And they've completely broken the worst players now, of course. So they're just down on PG-50. We should not expect too much to come out from them this round. What we saw in the second round was just a little bit greedy.
Look at the bomb. That is just the bomb rushed out middle. It's left it completely in the open. However, it does look like Snacks is going to be getting tagged very, very low. Neo will come into support. But 2 players now are currently low, and already Snacks is going to get dropped. So damage is being done at the moment by these pistols. Very little invested, and Arch has actually managed to recover that AWP as well. And of course, a glass cannon AWP, that's definitely something to be reckoned with at this point. So something for worse players to go within this round. Of course, we still expect VP to firmly take this one. But of course, more damage done. The CT economy isn't actually that strong to go with anyway, so let's see what Arch can actually perform with this AWP.
Bit unfortunate with the timing on a swap over to the pistol there, as he did have someone peeking him back over by the connector. That would have been Taz that he could have taken down, but now Taz is just going to safely smoke things off. Won't be seeing anything there. Pasha shuts down the first player, Falan, that tries to push his way into the B-bomb site, and that just leaves Crush alive still with Arch at this point. And with Arch going down, now only Crush with the P250. He does have bomb control. If he can find this kill onto Pasha, may be able to sneak his way into the site. Nicely done. Grabs the headshot at the very least. And also he's got a pretty low player in the site, Neo. Only at 7 HP, but he doesn't catch him on the side of the site. So he will take down Crush. And, yep, We'll see the recovery coming out. Virtus.pro now take the lead, 4-3.
And they pick up a second as well. So at the moment, it seemed to be Neo, well, recently anyway, or in the past, who was picking up that AWP quite often. But in this game, it's now Snacks and Pasha coming up in with the AWP. So may just be something for Mirage. I'm not too sure, but clearly they have switched things up on this map. And let's see if it actually does catch out, because of course 2 AWPs, it does leave that sort of pick play style there for VP, but it could completely catch worse players off guard. But on the opposing side, we have Simple with his AWP as well, so both sides.
We've seen the double op setups become like more and more prevalent on every single team here. Unfortunately, Snacks not going to have best of shots to start things off, and Arch picks up those first 2 kills. Neo does respond with 2 of his own. We are going to see Neo finding more there. He's up to 4 of them now, as he's just basically killed the entire push back over here towards Cat. And finally, Pasha, armed with the op, moves in, which shuts down the final player back by the apartments.
I think I've been silenced. But why didn't Neo pick up the AWP? Well, there you go. That's why. He'll just completely mow down the opposition on short. They didn't have a chance. Don't even think he took that much damage in the end, and his economy is booming at the moment. And as we can see, worst players are back down to a bit of a Tech-9 buy, possibly going to go for the A smokes here, as you can see. Getting up close and personal with those Tech-9, definitely a possibility. The bomb is going to be the main aim here, but anything else is just gravy. So we'll see what they can actually hope to achieve in this round. Of course, still 2 players over towards the B site. AWP currently on Pasha now, so Snacks has given that one up after missing a couple of shots, but here comes the aggressive push. We're going to see Taz taking down 2 instantly, and it's going to be down to just the remaining players, and while the counter nades have just worked absolutely perfectly, they're not getting anywhere near that site, and Archie's going to get finished off.
It's really just a failed attempt to even get close to the site from the worst players. They don't even get themselves past the CT ramp, so shut down pretty handily. And this is becoming a problem now for the worst players, is just not being able to impact enough to get close to that site on those eco rounds. Doing some good damage earlier on, but rounds like that are not going to fly at all, unfortunately. Either just slow things down, or you need to be much better on aim when it comes to those entries, as otherwise Virtus.pro are just going to absolutely destroy you.
But the other thing to mention at the moment is Philin is yet to get a kill on the board, so that's a little bit problematic. Also, someone we mentioned all the way through, this is basically Team Simple, and apart from a couple of sort of worthless frags with the AWP, he hasn't actually done too much. We haven't seen any entries from him as of yet. And, well, that's really what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for him to make a big impact on this map so far. But I'm going to see some aggression up mid. Already a tag coming into Crush, and he's going to be getting relatively low. We are seeing some presence over towards the B site, middle and A. So it is just some lurk performance. But at the moment, it's going to be Pasha finding a shot through the wall onto Simple. Again, not making a single impact with that AWP.
Neo going to go for the peek, trying to catch this player. Crush sitting further behind the boxes there at top mid, but no luck in taking him down as of yet. And Arch, in the meantime, sneaking his way through. Pasha and Taz take down both of the players near middle. Crush responds with his own kill, but now he's extremely low. Down to 23 HP, and he's one of the few left alive here for worst players. So as soon as he peeks out, no utility left to free himself. He's a dead man. Fix did work his way onto the site, but Bialy is able to handle that final duel very nicely, giving Virtus.pro now a 7th round. Basically running away with the game at this point. The economy definitely has been stabilized. Got 12.6K sitting on Neo. A little bit lower for some of these other guys, but definitely still runnable for at least 2 to 3 rounds if we were to start to see the T's pick up some of their own here. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And I mean, they're not really planting. They haven't had a single plant in the past 5 rounds, so their economy is just the T-set economy. This is just in an abysmal place. They can't even consistently buy from round to round anymore, despite the fact they're now in the full losing bonus.
Well, it just seemed like Virtus.pro made a little bit of a mistake early on. They underestimated their opponent, and then when they got on the buy, they've been pretty dominant, to be honest. There hasn't been too many questionable rounds. A few pistol buys that actually went quite well for the worst players, but apart from that, it's when they get on the rifles. Again, we've seen nothing from that AWP. We've seen no entry kills. It's just been problematic, and the CT side have got the initial frag every single round. But here we go, closing down Pasha. We're going to be seeing him actually get the initial kill with the CZ. Going to pick up the AWP next, and he's going to get that kill as well. Crush going to take down one, but he'll be instantly traded, and it's going to be down to Fix in a 1 versus 4 with a Deeg, no utility, and, well, just hope, I guess.
They were trying to use him as sort of a late entry to the A site since he had so little to work with here, but trying to line up some Deagle shots. It's not really going to connect anything at all. Virtus.pro stack up yet another one here as they continue to grow. Finally, we'll see the worst players with enough cash to go for a big full buy here, which includes like full utility, full armor, AKs, the op coming back on a Simple and everything. And we saw this had a big impact previously when he did finally manage to get this into his hands. It's just unfortunately we need some of the other guys in the team to step up. As you mentioned before, it's sort of Team Simple, and he was a big part of the first gun run when we actually had him working with the op. It's just since then we haven't really been able to see this too much. So now we will get another crack at it, however.
Yeah, it's going to be the initial pick, though, again, going to VP. It just seems Well, Simple again, he's not able to find that entry kill. He gets taken down, and it's just frag after frag after frag for Virtus.pro. They're just taking no liberties at this point, just pushing up mid, taking over that control, and really leaving the teams with very little to play with. Like, the fact is, most teams on this map like to be able to have middle control so they can sort of break onto a site, split onto A, split onto B. They've just not had that opportunity, and the one time they did, they got shut down by Neo. However, Fix going to be pushing in. He will find one trade frag back. He's got to watch out for Snacks now. Back on that AWP, the secondary AWP in play once more. We'll see whether or not, well, he's actually going to get smoked out here, so the bomb may actually be able to go down. However, Taz pushing in, going to be hiding in the corner. We're going to see another kill, so a little bit better now, but Pasha, he's going to take down one more, and surely there's nothing that can be done. Philin going to get tagged, and eventually he gets taken down by Snacks as well. So a couple of players drop. They do get the bomb down, so that will increase their buy in the next round with the loss bonus, but unfortunately, it just looks like they've hit a brick wall after the pistol round, well, after that break in the second round.
I mean, in this like 6 or 7 round sequence that we've seen Virtus.pro go on now, and in the rounds where we never even saw them get a plant, as I mentioned previously, we were seeing the worst players do a pretty good job of like trading kills, at least trying to keep the CT economy under their control, but now it's just gotten completely out of hand, unfortunately, and for the worst players here, finally being able to get a plant, so we will see another buy coming out of them, but this needs to be a consistent thing we see, and also, though, to be completely honest, they just need to start stacking up rounds, because, you know, like a 12-3 half, in theory, it's not going to be workable at all, jumping onto the CT side, even if you win the pistol and get the starting advantage.
Well, Blue, do I mention the word pause in this scenario? I just feel like things are starting to get a little bit out of control. I think that's 8 rounds in a row now for Virtus.pro. We are going to see again the play coming in towards the B side. Bialy going to spot them out, going to be trying to find that first frag, but going to throw out some counter nades to at least slow down that push. And another thing we haven't seen is they seem to just dedicate themselves to a site. However, Fixie's going to find that first kill. Crush in the perfect position to find the second, and he will. He will get traded quickly by Neo, but nonetheless, they do have an advantage for the first time in a long time. We're going to see Simple find an instant trade as well, so a 4 versus 2. Surely this is going to be a scenario that worse players just can't afford to lose, but Pasha, he will find one back, and there is another player low as well in the Palace area.
Fix trying to figure out if he wants to peek out to this. Does spot the player over there by the steps, and also Pasha starting to rotate back over from Ticket to add more pressure to the staircase, but it'll be smoked off. It'll be safe for now. That Molly's going to throw Fix back and almost would have connected onto him, pretty much guaranteeing his own death, but it's not going to be the case for now. They move up onto the site. You know, getting a little bit adventurous there, moving in to try and catch a player by Tetris, but there's no one there. And as he sneaks further into the site here, going to try to take down the planter, succeeds in doing so, and that's a very ballsy move. We see Simple striking back as he takes down another player from the side of Virtus.pro, bringing things into a 2-on-1, leaving it all in Pasha's hands now. No utility. He does have an upgraded pistol to try and get a little bit closer to these guys, but he's looking for Simple. Just can't seem to find him. He should have just spotted him there with Tetris, but no. Simple's going to miss the shot rather. And Fix, pushing himself back out from the T-ramp, is going to shut things down. Finally, another round up on the board here for the Ts.
That was much better from them. It just seemed that time they found that initial kill. Bialy got taken down relatively quickly, and also the fact there, right at the end, they were actually playing very close to each other, so there was always an opportunity for the trade kill. The only thing is Philin yet on the board? I still feel he's still yet to get a kill.
And 13.
Although I don't like to talk about fragging in CSGO, like it's not always the most important thing, but 0 to 13, that's just problematic. That's just... Well, it's like not having a player.
The big problem is that once we get onto the CT side, this is going to become an even bigger issue, simply because of the fact that, all right, in theory on the T side, you can sort of just keep that guy in the back and not really have him do anything. Whereas on the CT side, like, he's going to have to be responsible for a very specific part of the defense, either A, B, or mid. So considering that, if he's not able to get a single frag, that area is essentially just going to be open season for the entire T side as soon as you jump over to there. But, get wrecked, Flan. As you see that first kill being picked up, Simple does respond, and now they're going to try to go for the A-tick again. This actually does leave Bialy in a bit of a peculiar spot. He's now basically stuck here by Firebox, so not going to see him able to survive for too long. Fix picking up 2 more kills here. He takes down Taz, and Neo, nicely done, pushing his own way back in. It's Neo, along with Pasha, again, that have to try and clutch this out. Neo finding that kill, evens things back out, but Pasha also still has to move his way back into the site.
Well, Simple playing with the AWP in the corner. If they did throw that Molotov in, he would be in a very horrible situation. Pasha still with the Molotov in hand. Crush going to be playing back. They haven't actually planted the bomb as of yet, so they will have to peek out to try and find something. And already we're going to see the drop of Crush, and now it's down to Simple. We've seen him in clutch situations before. He's going to find the first. That's a nice shot from him. Looking for the second, and he will find it. And that's going to be a 5th round for worst players. And now, that T-side's not looking as bad as it was before.
No, not at all. In theory now, if they can grab 9-6, because they have eaten their way a little bit through this CT-sided economy, we should be able to see enough guns donated over from Pasha to give everybody the full buy, but an op was actually just dropped for him, so should make this final buy a bit peculiar. And actually, we still ever see everybody with rifles and whatnot, so they managed to make it through, but worst players have just as strong as a buy at this point. So nothing holding them back, and they finally found a sort of a hole they can punch through here in the defense of Virtus.pro, which just seems sort of impenetrable for the 6 or 7 round streak they went on. But now they're bouncing back quite nicely. They could make this a pretty competitive half if they manage to pick up this one.
I think it was Fix there coming in with the entry kills that really did make that round a little bit more interesting. The fact that he was just able to walk in, find 2 heads, and well, it just opened up the side completely. It did end up coming back down to a 1v2, but luckily, Simple in those situations, you'd probably bet on him in most scenarios. He's a phenomenal player with that AWP. But this time, again, they're just gathering up towards A. I feel like they've just given up on B altogether. It's just going to be the A push again, and Taz's position is absolutely perfect. He's going to spray down one and find the second. Villain, welcome to the scoreboard, but it's not long-lived, and he's already out of the round. And now Arch in a 1 versus 3. It looks like we're having a 10-5 half, unless he can pull off something absolutely phenomenal, and the bomb is in a horrible position.
Arch trying to hold this off, gives himself away. They know exactly where he is. Finds 1 kill, but does not last long at all. Pasha immediately peeks back out from the steps, gets the trade. And that's going to end the half, guys. 10-5 in the favor of Virtus.pro. A bit of a good streak there. The worst players do manage to strike back and keep this thing a little bit more even.
Well, after 8 rounds in a row, I sort of thought that things could go from very, very bad to even worse, but it looked like they came back a little bit, got a couple of rounds, and if they can get that pistol, yeah, there's a chance they could bring this back. However, I feel like the T side should be much more practiced, much better for Virtus.pro, because, well, you have to remember, worst players, they have not been together for very long at all. And
also, obviously, I mean, we brought this up already, but the Filan, or actually don't know how to pronounce his name, so I do apologize.
I was going to say Filan.
If I'm butchering it, but yeah, Filan, for him with 1 in 15, like, regardless, as soon as Virtus.pro find where he's playing, that's going to be like the site to go for every single round, considering how poor his performance was. So unless he has like a miraculously different tune-up of his own play here on the CT side, then it's going to be a little bit rough here for the guys on worst players heading into the second half. But we will go into it now. So
well, it's also that fact when you get to 1 to 15, sort of the mentality just starts to drag you down even more, even if you are a good CT player. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he can come back. We are going to see Archer with the utility for this round, and the same for Snacks on the opposing side. It looks like they are going to be going straight towards that B site, so possibly just going to try and crush out the opposition straight off the bat, almost push them straight back into the ground. And, well, we're going to be seeing Snacks just flashing, smoking out, and it's going to be down to Phil, and it is going to be the man of the moment to try and find something. He will double his score, but that's going to be it, and he's going to go straight down. It's going to be down to Simple now. He's got the pistol. Crush will find 1, so not doing too badly in this round. Going to be looking for a kill, but it's going to be Bialy 3 versus 3 at this point. Going to be seeing the rotation coming in, but they are 2 of them towards market, 1 towards short. So they have a little bit of a position here, but Snacks, very good position to try and hold off the 1 player over towards this point. Needs to find this kill. Crush to just make this a little bit of an easier retake, and Pasha's going to find 1 in the meantime. It's now coming down to a 1v1. Pasha, Virtue, Arch is low. He has himself a kit, a smoke as well, but I'm not sure how helpful the smoke will be in this scenario, and it's going to be Pasha just holding the angle, perfectly positioned, and he's going to find the kill eventually. I think he gave Blue a little bit of a heart attack there with that missed shot.
A little shaky as he missed the second shot.
I saw the look on your face of just, no, not like this.
Leaving room for a reaction, and a bit of a fail there, but thankfully he still manages to execute the frag. So Virtus.pro get their start again. Second pistol that they've won, but keep in mind they did also lose the second round.
No SMG
previously as well.
No 5 SMGs this time though, so they're taking it a little bit more seriously. I feel that 2 rifles is sort of the norm when coming into the meta at the moment. Maybe 3 on some teams, but we are just going to see the straight up A push. The SMG is going to be leading the way to try and find these kills. No armor actually purchased on that CT side, so they want to get onto their buy as soon as possible. It's just going to be the Deagles, which is very common in the CIS scene actually. I think Flipside do this as well. They don't actually purchase up armor at all. They just go for the pistols and then try and have a better buy in the future rounds. But Phil, I'm going to be looking to try and find another kill, but unfortunately he will not do that. And this is just looking like, well, a pretty simple round, to put it lightly, from Virtus.pro, and unfortunately this is going to leave worse players with very, very little to play with when it comes to their actual buy rounds.
Pun game needs a bit of work. Still very early on in your career, as it would seem.
I don't know. I feel like that was just an easy one to get out of the way to start things off. If we go to train, I have about like 400 different puns that can be made.
So obviously with the 10-5 half happening, that being a pretty polarizing scoreline in regards to who wins the pistol there, and as well as they don't have any, consider we didn't actually see any problems with Virtus.pro picking up the second round, and now with them more than likely finding the third, this does leave the worst players in a very, I mean, to be completely honest, a very bad position now, being down this far. If they don't win this first gun round, that could be it there, because they're really only going to have 1 or 2 more chances after that to try and strike back. Fix, with a good opening shot though, way in the back of the site, is going to be able to pick up that first frag of the round.
And they have actually got 3 players, 4th rotating in over towards this B side at the moment. So VP, they do have to be careful, although one player is edging off here, so possibility that they may not go for this push as of yet. As said, 4 players, one currently in the CT spawn, just waiting to see if Neo goes pushing through and could actually catch him out here. Although, is he actually just AFK? That's what it almost looks like. We're going to see Neo finding one. Player from behind going to look to try and find that kill. He does tag him down a little bit. Neo low on HP, but nevertheless, it looks like the rotation is now going to come in over towards that A site, and there's absolutely no one there. They've got to try and catch them out in middle. We're going to be seeing the P250 trying to do some work, but nothing coming in as of yet. And Taz, he just destroys the opposition. Goes ham, and it's going to be down to Fix, and he'll get decimated as well.
So Virtus.pro get the start, 13-5. Not even really losing anybody along the way either. Actually going to be surviving with quite a bit of extra cash heading into this first gun round. And with Neo and Taz still having those SMGs, very large chance they're just going to stick with them in this first gun round. There's no reason to waste those, especially when your economy is just starting to build and you still have 7.5 and 8.5. Neo will decide to upgrade his, but Taz is still going to stick with the UMP. On the CT side, however, we do need to see that investment coming in. Simple was able to build up enough of his own bank to go for the op buy here on the first gun round. But this is really going to be it now, because Virtus.pro, they get themselves to 14. They'll have to win 10 match points in a row, essentially, considering they'd be going on to the eco in the next round. And that is going to be a very, very difficult task to accomplish, just to tie things up and take it into OT on map number 1.
Well, clearly at the moment, Virtus.pro, they're just playing with full confidence. They haven't really lost any major rounds since the end of the first half. Also, the fact is the other 3 rounds are based off the pistol. So only 2 buy rounds have actually gone the way of worst players at this scenario. We're going to be seeing Taz, as you said, on an SMG at the moment, but it is the UMP, which is actually pretty good at causing quite a bit of havoc if he can get close range. AWP of Simple needs to try and find an entry kill to make that investment worthwhile, unless he can get into some sort of clutch situation as we saw previously. But it does look like, well, unlike Virtus.pro, middle control has not been something that's come in for worse players, and we're going to see a complete overhaul of this A side. We're going to be seeing Arch trying to find one, but in the meantime, he's got players surrounding him. That bomb not going to be able to cross over as of yet. The smokes will begin to fade relatively soon, so the 2 players over towards CT may actually be able to make something of this round.
This is a bit dangerous with Virtus.pro, but they did manage to successfully mind game worse players, considering they forced a little bit of a mini rotation there. Now they've got them all boxed off on the side without finding a single kill. They managed to plant the bomb. That's going to be a good flashbang that comes up. But where's the actual push from Arch? Shut down by Neo, and Snacks gets the double, taking down both Fix along with Simple, and then he grabs the final kill on a fill-in as well. Oh my goodness, absolutely destroying it. Now Virtus.pro, by winning that gun round, they basically have this map in their hands.
Well, you could say they're getting crushed. There's a lot they need to fix, and well, maybe someone could fill in if there's problems later on.
Getting better. Nice, solid improvement.
But anyway, we are going to be seeing that buy coming in from the T side once more. The CTs are going to have next to nothing left to play with them. Well, they're actually pretty much just saving now for the fight back from 15-5. This is going to have to be an absolutely ridiculous showing from worse players, and to be honest, their name is starting to become their nature at this point. I feel like VP just have this one in the bag.
Unless like Simple like channels his inner liquid, then probably not going to be able to fight it back. But he's on the wrong team for that anyway.
Yeah, it needs to be the other way around, I feel.
So Virtus.pro, as we could sort of predict here, crushing their way through this round as they move in. There are now only 3 left alive from the CT side. There is a long flank coming back in through T, but all right. Bit of a mistake made there by Taz. Sort of standing out in the open, taking those duels, and there we go. All right. Somehow they're finding these kills.
Fillin's back on the board after a long hiatus. But, well, at the moment, this is just damage to an economy that's going to be very difficult to damage. I don't think there's really going to be anything they can do here. And, well, the remaining players, they just stay calm, collected, and just finish off the round. And that is now 6 rounds in a row for Virtus.pro, 1 more in 10 for them to take this first map. And then we're on to Cash, which is another map that Virtus.pro in history have been very, very good on. And at the moment, they're not, I wouldn't say they're a particularly bad team on the map. Of course, Simple, he's had his moments on Cash. We've seen it before. Then again, he's also had his moments on Mirage. And so far, well, we saw one nice little clutch, a couple of ult kills coming in that sort of made me jump a little bit. But apart from that, we've seen next to nothing from the majority of the team.
Worst player is going to try to get much more aggressive in this round, but Pasha takes the duel, goes down first, but Bialy does move in and find the trade. Now Crush moving out to take better control of middle, finds that first kill, tries to transfer the spray, but he's going to get mollied out of spot and down to 27 HP now. He's going to have to fall away from this one. Decent amount of control gained of the A-bomb, but the problem is they still have Arch sitting back over here in T. There's a good timing on the peak, though, from Bialy, and that's going to completely stop all the control they would have had. Down to just Crush and fill in. 27 HP on Crush as well, not looking very good. Crush goes down, leaving everything in the hands of the man that only had 1 kill at the end of the first half. Pop Flash going over. Very long range one, though, and he unfortunately peeks out a little bit early. So Snacks will find that final kill, and it'll be 16-5, the first map going into the control of Virtus.pro.
Yeah, absolute decimation. There was nothing really to be said there about that map. In terms of analysis, it just looked like, well, they managed to take their rounds following the pistol. Then after that, they won 2 buy rounds. That was it for the rest of their game. They just didn't really see anything. The entry kill seemed to go the way of Virtus.pro nearly every single round. And I think one of the main rounds they won was actually them getting the entry. I think it was Fix pushing into the site, finding 2 headshots. So that was their real problems. It was like, yes, they knew the smokes. Obviously, most people know smokes on Mirage. That's not the problem. It was just counter nades coming in from VP were just so effective. The fragging was just clearly on the side of VP, and in the end,
and as we saw, like,
they can do.
I think it was like 8 rounds. I think it had that we saw Virtus.pro going on a bit of a streak on their CT side, and when that was finally broken, I mean, that only lasted like 2 rounds. They finally found like the weak point, but they found it so late into the half that it didn't even make a difference. 10-5. They don't win the pistol in the second half, and really from that point forward, it's just impossible to crawl their way back from the depths.
Well, the thing I always find with also these lower teams is sometimes they're not willing to take a pause, and after sort of 4 or 5 rounds when the economy started to build up, they clearly hadn't found anything yet. Really, that was when I wanted to see just go, okay, guys, let's have a bit of a breather. Let's reset a little bit. Let's get Simple back on that AWP so we can try and find an entry kill. But unfortunately, that just happened way too late. They didn't go for a pause. And yeah, they found 2 rounds, but 2 buy rounds, it's not enough.
Yeah. All right, guys, map number 2 should be coming up here in just a little bit. It's going to be on Cash for those of you who did miss that earlier on. Be sure to stick around. We'll be right back with more of the StarLadder I-League Invitational right here on Twitch.